What makes your film identifiable as a short? Well, your movie, The Silent Killer, I just finished watching it, and it has a lot of conventions of a typical short film. It's under 45 minutes. It seems to be fairly low budget. There's not a huge cast either. It's also really experimental as well. There's a lot of low-key lighting, and there's not a lot of talking either. So it's typical of a short film. I did quite enjoy it because I didn't expect the plot twist at the end with the son going and killing his dad afterwards. And I also like how they incorporated like mental health into your film and sort of shine light on the topic that isn't usually spoken about, especially like within like the short film sort of medium. So yeah, I like that.
Alright, so the movie The Silent Killer, I think it definitely fits into the short film genre because there are certain factors that it fits into. So the first one is the budget. I expected to have like a low budget since it's a short film, and there's only 3 main characters. So again, I guess they couldn't employ a larger cast. For the time, it was only 5 minutes, so that definitely does fit into the short film genre, and it's experimental because they use such a controversial topic, mental health, and they used it in such a experimental way, and they linked it with video games. So it shows that mental health isn't something that you can only get from like certain events, but you can actually get it with like the media, and by playing video games you can develop some sort of mental health, and yeah, I think it definitely does fit into the short film.
I think the purpose of your short film is to spread awareness for taboo topics such as mental health. Because mental health isn't something that's discussed so often in Hollywood blockbusters, I think it's really important for short films like this to shine light on the topic. Because if we didn't have these mediums talking about it, then people really wouldn't understand how serious mental health can be and how damaging things like violent video games can be to young children, especially those from like the 12 to the 18 bracket who are so impressionable. So I think by showing the character who's actually been like disturbed by playing these games, it's really impactful, and it was a really good decision to make by the directors.
Generic conventions of your film, I mean, you really did follow the thriller structure with, like, for example, not showing the weapon itself, but like, sort of hinting towards it. It's really effective because instead of like, simply just showing the audience that, oh yeah, someone's getting killed with a gun, you subtly hinted it, and yeah, it was quite nice. Also, the colour grading was really nice. It sort of set the tone of the movie. Yeah, there was like different moods between when things were going all right in the beginning, for example, in the kitchen, and then from when I think Stephen's character started getting some dark thoughts. Yeah, it was really effective. I believe your short film challenged and developed on existing conventions of the short film platform by focusing on a teenager who isn't, or a male teenager who isn't portrayed as masculine or isn't portrayed as someone who's mentally strong, if I should say. Because in your film, the main protagonist, which was Stephen's character, suffering from the effects of like the video games that he was playing and something like that, and that's a really interesting angle to tell a story from, which isn't done usually in any films really. So yeah, I think that's the way you did it.